I think what I'm in support of is a peaceful outcome and result in Ukraine. And I think right now the administration, the president, and his team are working to achieve that. And I think right now you got to give them some space. Honestly, this is something. This war has ground on now for 3 years. There's been a lot of cost, a lot of death, a lot of injury associated with it. And I think it's in everybody's best interest. Ukraine, Russia, Europe, the United States, if they can bring about a peaceful conclusion to the war. And so that's what this is about right now, and I think most of us want to support their efforts as they move in that direction and hopefully to a successful outcome. Well, I like I said, the President speaks for himself. What I want to see is a peaceful result, a peaceful outcome. And I think right now there's a negotiation going on, and let's see where that ultimately leads. Hopefully it'll get to the outcome we all want to see.
US President Donald Trump has intensified his attacks on Ukraine's wartime president. He's accused Volodymyr Zelenskyy of being a dictator and a terrible leader who better move fast or he won't have much of a country left. Earlier, President Trump accused Ukraine of starting the war with Russia and called on the Ukrainian president to hold elections, claiming he had an approval rating of just 4%. Volodymyr Zelenskyy responded to those claims overnight, saying Donald Trump has fallen for Russian disinformation.
We have seen this disinformation. We understand that this is coming from Russia. We understand this, and we have evidence that these numbers are being discussed between America and Russia. Unfortunately, President Trump, with whom we have great respect as a leader, and the American people who support us, but unfortunately, he lives in this disinformation space.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has criticised Volodymyr Zelenskyy's hysterical reaction to the meeting between American and Russian officials in Ukraine, saying, "President Trump told me during our phone call, I can confirm it, that of course the US assume that both Russia and Ukraine will take part in the negotiating process. Nobody is excluding Ukraine from this process, so there are no reasons for such a reaction to the Russia-US meeting." Mark Stone has more now from Florida.
Florida, because that is where Donald Trump is, where he has been since Friday, where he issued that broadside news conference last night on against President Zelenskyy, and where today he has been posting on Truth Social with some truly remarkable language that will, well, to say it will alarm Zelenskyy and European nations, I think is an understatement. Let's take you through key bits of an extraordinary statement. Donald Trump said, "Think of it, a modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without US and Trump, would never be able to settle." He goes on to say, quite alarmingly for Europe, "This war is far more important to Europe than it is to us. We have a big, beautiful ocean as separation." And he continues with more of what he said yesterday in Mar-a-Lago. He says he refuses to have elections. It's very low in Ukrainian polls, and the only thing he was good at was playing Biden like a fiddle. A dictator without elections. Zelenskyy better move fast or he is not going to have a country left. And towards the end of the lengthy statement, President Trump says, "In the meantime, we're successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia, something all admit only Trump and the Trump administration can do." So honestly, where to start with that? I mean, it follows the news conference that Zelenskyy gave this morning, in which he said in straight terms that he believed Donald Trump was being misled, that he was saying things that simply aren't true. I mean, it's worth stating it is demonstrably untrue that Zelenskyy has a 4% approval rating. The Ukrainian polls suggest that he's at 50% or perhaps more. The reason he hasn't had elections is because he is in a state of war. So this is extraordinary language by Donald Trump, and it seems to so swiftly have changed the Western alliance, effectively removing America from it. Very, very powerful language from a man who really does hold the key when it comes to what happens in Ukraine right now.